You ever look at someone and just think, they've got something? A quality you can't quite put your finger on, but it makes them totally irreplaceable. Well, that's what we're digging into today. We're going to unpack that elusive X factor, that unique mix of talent, energy, and, well, you-ness that creates real, undeniable impact. So let's just start with that big question. Seriously, what makes someone truly irreplaceable? In a job, on a team, in your life? It's easy to say, oh, they have great skills, but you and I both know it's way deeper than that. It's some kind of essential quality, and we're going to figure out what that is.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll nail down a definition for the X factor. Then, we'll dive into the 3 key parts. Your innate essence, kind of like your raw ingredients. Then, how you turn that potential into action. And finally, the ripple effect you create. We'll wrap it all up with this cool idea, the alchemy of you.
Okay, so what is the X factor, really? The best way to think about it is like a personal recipe that nobody else has. The ingredients, your talents, your energy, your authenticity. Sure, lots of people have those ingredients, but it's the specific way you combine them that creates something totally unique, something that just can't be copied. See, the X factor isn't just something you have, it's a process. It unfolds in 3 steps. It all starts with your innate essence. That's the raw stuff you're born with. Then comes activated expression. That's you actually doing something with it. And that leads to the final step, contextual resonance, which is just a fancy way of saying you start making waves and having a real impact on everyone around you.
So let's jump into part 1, your innate essence. This is all about what you bring to the table right from the get-go.
This is your foundation, your starting point. Think about the things you were naturally good at as a kid, long before you had any training or job. That's the baseline. It's the unique toolkit you were handed at birth.
And a huge part of that toolkit is what we call a gift. Now, this isn't something you can learn in a classroom. It's a natural aptitude, something that comes so easily to you that you might not even notice it. You know, that thing you do that makes other people say, wow, how do you do that?
And this is where it gets really interesting. Rarity. This is what makes your gifts a strategic advantage. When your combination of talents is so unique that it's hard to copy and impossible to replace, well, that's what defies replication. That's your secret sauce.
Okay, so having these amazing raw materials is one thing, but potential doesn't mean much if it just sits there, right? That brings us to part 2, from potential to action. This is all about how your inner essence actually shows up and makes a difference.
This stage is all about conversion. It's the bridge connecting what's inside you to the outside world. It's about turning that potential into something people can actually see and feel, something that has real, observable value. And what fuels that conversion? Drive. I love this metaphor. It's the internal combustion engine of your potential. It's that fire in your belly, that kinetic energy that turns your purpose into actual performance. It's what gets things done. And right there with drive, you've got energy. And we're not just talking about having a second cup of coffee. This is a vital force. It's that enthusiasm that's so contagious it can literally light up a room and get an entire team buzzing. It's transferable. And that contagious energy leads us perfectly into our final section, part 3, your ripple effect. Because your X factor doesn't exist in a bubble. It's all about the impact you have on other people. This is where things get really powerful. Your uniqueness starts to spread. It becomes contagious. With every interaction, your influence grows, and you start to shape the entire environment around you just by being you. A key ingredient here is charisma. Think of it as a kind of magnetic pull that just draws people in. And this has nothing to do with your job title or your position on an org chart. It's influence that comes from who you are, not the title on your business card. And when all of this, your gifts, your drive, your energy, your charisma, comes together in a peak moment, bam, you get the wow factor. This quote just says it all. It's that moment of awe, when what you do so completely shatters expectations that it creates emotional astonishment. It's unforgettable. So, let's bring it all home. It's time for our conclusion, the alchemy of you. This is where we see how all these separate parts combine to create something that's, well, truly magical. So the big takeaway is this. The X factor is not one single thing. It's a combination, it's alchemy. You start with your innate essence. Those are your raw ingredients. You put them into motion through your activated expression. That's the transformation.
And the result? The magical impact it has on the world, your contextual resonance.
And really, this is what it's all about. It's the alchemy of your own individuality. It's that point where a human being becomes more than just a person doing a job. You become art, you become energy, and you become a genuine strategic advantage.
And that leaves us with the most important question of all, the one for you to think about. Now that you've seen the ingredients and the process, what's the unique, irreplaceable alchemy of your X factor?